Certainly not a classic, that's for sure. It was never going to be, as I said in my post-match, the pitch wasn't conducive to a free-flowing, entertaining game of football. But what we did is we were very well organised. We made good decisions on the day, and we're utterly ruthless in the big parts. And we scored obviously Benji Creeley's first goal of the season. Fantastic header from a wonderful cross from Tolu, which set us on our way really. And I always felt comfortable after that point. I mean, Noxie wasn't busy in any way, shape or form, which was good. The second goal, I think, really knocked the stuffing out of them, and was obviously great for us to get Webby one from a long throw. And then really we probably could have had 3 or 4 more, in all fairness. Their keeper's made a couple of decent saves. They've had a couple that have managed to sort of get away, and a couple the crossbar and just over the bar. So we had a real dominant spell to finish the game. We looked incredibly fit. And like I said, in the build-up to it, it was a game I was really worried about because it's not an easy place to go. But what we did is we really exerted dominance at the right times, and it was a really, really good 3 points, and great to have some players getting back to fitness. And it was just a really, really good result for us, and it gave us a much-needed 3 points. And more importantly, as I said, it backed up the result from Aylesbury Vale the previous week. And anytime you get a clean sheet's always nice. So we're going in the right direction. We're back to those clean sheets, 0s and 1s again, which was great. And overall, I was just really, really pleased with the performance. As I said, it was so far opposite to the previous Saturday away at Sheffield, which was great, and full testimony and full character to the players. They deserved every bit of credit they got. So delighted with that one. Glad it's gone now, and glad we haven't got to go back there again this season. So maybe we'll be back there next season, who knows. So I've got to be honest, 0-0, I was quite disappointed with that in the end in terms of the actual result, because I thought we played really well from start to finish. They've had a couple of good opportunities, to be fair to them. I think if they'd taken those 2 opportunities, it could easily have been 2-0. If we'd taken our chances and we had some really, really good ones, it could have been 5-0 to us at half time. So it was a really finely poised game. I felt that we were dominant in large spells in terms of dominating the territory, in terms of I thought we got our press right, which was good. I thought we looked very, very comfortable and structurally sound within our shape. And I've got to be honest, at half time I was very calm. I thought that the second half would be just getting the goal, and I thought we'd go on to get the 3 points. But unfortunately, right at the start of the second half, the decision to send Luke Dunstan off, which after 2 bookings in the space of about 45 seconds, I thought the decision to send him off was urgent at best. I'm still perplexed, still not really overly sure what it was for. I was invited the opportunity to find that out 15 minutes after kick-off, but once again decided not to pursue that avenue. I always feel in those situations I don't actually get any real answers, so I wasn't going to waste my time doing that. The obviously disappointing and catastrophic nature of the events now is that we're going to potentially lose Luke Dunstan for 2 games. I sound like I'm always going on about decisions that aren't going for us, but at the moment, and I hope our luck changes soon, I hope that we start to get those big decisions. It feels like we haven't really had a big decision go for us over the last sort of 2 or 3 months. I can't really recall them. But like anything, when you go down to 10 men at this level, the game changes, and we went from being on the front foot, we then had to be a lot more sort of pragmatic and solid. I thought the lads were fantastic. I thought from the first whistle to the last, we were brilliant. I thought structurally we were excellent. I thought we got our distances right. I thought our shape, I thought the way we hit them on the transition. In all honesty, we had some really good chances second half. We've had one off the line, which looked close. Again, it was too far away for me to see if that was over. We've had a couple of really good moments where I thought maybe we could have won it 1-0. To be fair, their lad then misses a chance late in the game, but 10 men's always difficult. But if you'd said to me over the course after Sheffield that we'd go to 3 games and get 7 points, 3 clean sheets on the spin, score 6 goals, it just goes to show you what a fantastic reaction we've had from the group. And I hear this nonsense all the time. You can't have a go at players, you can't dig them out, you can't get on their case. Why not? 2 weeks ago, I was very, very honest with the players. I told them exactly what I thought. I made no secret of that, and the response and reaction from each of them has been absolutely fantastic. And my players deserve all the credit this last week. They've been tremendous. And as I said, I was immensely proud of the performance against Biggleswade. I didn't feel necessarily we got what we deserved over the course of 94 minutes. We missed too many chances, but that's ultimately the name of the game. What was good about us is that's the 3rd time this year we've gone down to 10 men, and we haven't lost the game yet when we've been down to 10. So that shows great resilience, great courage, and hopefully that continues now moving forwards. And hopefully for the rest of the season we'll start getting some of the bigger decisions go our way. and go in our favour, and that hopefully things will start to even out for us. So we're assessing a few tonight. We'll assess Jardel Sterling, see where he is with his knee. Alfie Osborne, we're very hopeful for. His opinion was it wasn't as bad as perhaps we first feared, which is good for us because hopefully, all things being equal, we'll get him back going into the final push towards the end of the season. Connor Coulson's quad will now be assessed again tonight to see where he is. He's feeling a lot better, having spoken to him earlier on, which is great for us because, as I said, you can never have too many good players in each position. Regarding any fresh injuries, there's a couple of bumps and bruises. Obviously, the only thing that we've got to now be very mindful of is Luke Dunstan's imminent suspension. But great to see Carl Faulkner back. Great. I thought he was excellent again when he came on Tuesday night. I thought he looked a real handful. Great for him to score his goal last Saturday. Deserved that. He's had a real bad spate of luck, from his perspective. We've got Joe Sellers-West back now, who again is a massive player for us. So we are getting them back, and I just hope a little bit of luck's on our side and that we can keep them fit and ultimately keep the group as strong as we can going into what's going to be a really, really busy end of the last 6 weeks. So we've got 6 weeks to go. Looking at the weather forecast and the swimming pool that's out there at the moment, it makes me concerned for Saturday. It makes me concerned potentially for Tuesday if the forecast is as bad as what they're saying, which means at some point we'll also join the Thursday club for the last couple of weeks. So hopeful the weather is kind to us, because as I said, we're starting to get players back now, and we want to make sure we keep this momentum going. We've had a real upsurge in results since we were knocked out the Vase earlier in the year, or late last year rather. So we're in good shape, and hopefully, as I said, we can keep the injury count to a minimum amount and keep everybody fit and firing. So they've had changes. The last time we played them, it was a really competitive, tight game, and we scored a sort of a late winner. They've changed management team. They've changed a lot of players within their group. Every game they've been in recently, they've been really competitive. They've had some good results and some results that I'm sure that they would be disappointed with. So we expect a tough encounter. We expect, they've got some players in there that have been around the level a long time. Again, it's a home game. I'm really hopeful the game goes ahead because, as I said, we're on a good run at the moment, and we want to keep that momentum, because as much as we can train, as much as you can do internal training games, it doesn't replicate that Saturday afternoon when you've got a packed house. And obviously, from our perspective now, the club is putting on a pay what you want on the day, which I think is a great initiative, and we're hopeful that we'll be backed by large numbers. The support's been phenomenal throughout the season in terms of every single week, no matter how bad the weather is, and we've had some shocking weathers here during the season, but the crowds are always excellent. They're always the same faces, which is great. So hopefully we'll get some new faces. Hopefully we'll get the returning faces on Saturday, and most importantly for us, put on a good performance and get the 3 points. And ultimately now that's what it's all about. As I said, 11 cup finals to go now. We've got 33 points to play for. There's no real margin for error. We can't afford to be dropping points now. We've dropped too many over the course of the year, and like I said, we've only lost 4 league games all season, 4 out of 27, and find ourselves in third with it all to play for, all in our own hands. But we know that we can't afford a bad run now. We've got to make sure that each time we step across that white line, that we turn those 1 pointers into 3, and we make sure that whatever happens, that we find a way to keep on winning. So probably as tough as it gets. As I said, that without trying to play the old mind games, I think it's Leighton's to lose at this moment in time. They've got a real poor schedule coming up in terms of the amount of games they have to play. It's crazy. So if they get a game cancelled now, I don't even know where they're going to get it put in. It looks at the moment, they could end up playing probably 7 games in about 5 days the way it's going. So we got to go there. We know that we know exactly the challenge that we're going to face. They've obviously bolstered their squad quite heavily. They've got a couple of lads from around the corridor here from AFC that helped them out on Tuesday. So they're making sure that they've got enough bodies going into it, and rightfully so, because as I said, it's a really tough, intense schedule for us. Never mind for them. We know the threats we're going to face. We know what we're going to. I'm sure it's going to be a lively atmosphere. I'm sure it'll be another game where small margins are involved. We have to be better than we were in the previous cup game, without a doubt. We can't afford to go there with that same mentality in the first 15-20 minutes and give away soft goals, soft free kicks, soft corners. Can't afford to do that. We've got to do better at that. So the lads, you know, we'll work hard between now and then. What we've got to do before I even worry about what's going to go on with Leighton Town, we've got to make sure we get Saturday right first. And then I'll worry about it. But like I said, they're all tough games at this level. Whether you're playing Leighton Town away, London Colney away, it doesn't make a difference. You have to play well. And if we can play like we did on Tuesday with a bit more of a clinical edge in the opposition third, which we've done really well at recently, it just wasn't our night on Tuesday. And like I said, their goalkeepers pulled some excellent saves. But if we're going to go to Leighton and win, you know, we've got to make sure we're dominant in both boxes. We've got to make sure we're utterly ruthless in the big moments, especially when games like that will be tight. So I'm sure it'll be a good one to watch in terms of for the neutral. I'm sure it'll be competitive. I'm sure it'll be fast-paced, high energy. One we're looking forward to, one they'll be looking forward to. And as I said, the only thing I care about is just making sure that we find a way to win on Tuesday and keep that run going.